So we picked up the timber yesterday. I actually made a start yesterday, but I didn't film anything. I had family around and stuff, so we just kind of spent half an hour doing some notching. I'll show you that now, and then hopefully we can crack on with the rest of the build this afternoon. And I'm trying my best to not have to buy any more timber. All we've bought is the fence posts and some spindles for the kind of railing. So there's enough stuff kicking around here that hopefully we can get by. Okay, so it's essentially just a little raised deck, but it's going to be movable. So we've got this 3x3 fence posts. Didn't have long enough bolts to bolt these joists to those, so I actually notched them, so they're a bit like a half lap, but that will actually give us a stronger joint, and I can probably get away with screws, but we might just put a bolt in each. So there'll be 2 of those, and then we'll join the 2 sides with whatever other timber I've got, and then just run a few little joists across in some hangers. Then the whole playhouse is going to sit up on top of that. So here are the fence posts. I strapped them all together, clamped them all together, and then just ran the circular saw through, set at the same depth as our joist material, and then just hit it with a hammer and cleaned it up a little bit with the chisel. 2 of those on each side, and then the last one is notched the same, but I've left a post at the top to be like a little newel post on the corner. So we've got some other joists which will be satin hedge, so they will be a bit over the top, but they'll be our side joists and kind of the beams, I guess, and then between those we'll hang some 2x4s.
So let's do it.
Do we? Yeah. Come on then.
They're really hard to pull.
It's alright once you've got one. But it's probably a good idea to try and remember where we got them from. So maybe get that one out first. Let's try and order it out. So, come on girls, time to move house.
Move house time.
Watch out, not Peter Rabbit. Right, so I'm going to have to leave it there not bad for a couple of hours. We've kind of got the main structure done. The next job is to sort the deck out and then lift the playhouse up there, and that's a 3-person job, I think. The other thing I want to do is just make sure these are leveled out, just so everything's nice and flat, and I'm going to put some membrane down just where the actual footprint of the deck is, and that will just obviously stop any weeds coming up. Below the playhouse is going to be another sort of store area. I'll also want to sort some little braces to stop it racking, because at the moment it's a bit twisty. So I'm afraid here it takes a bit of a jump. All the footage of actually moving the playhouse we lost, and that would have been quite entertaining to watch because it involved Dad and I balancing it on our heads pretty much as we carried it across. But it went to plan and the decking went in, and I've got some close-ups at the end of this video to show all the different features. But this is the first day of it being finished and usable. We then set the girls loose with a load of paint tester pots and told them they could decorate the inside. But of course, as usual, most of it ended up on them. Then it only had about a month or two of use before winter set in, and in the storms of kind of January the roof ripped off and it was just a bit of out of action for a few months. So last month I finally got around to finishing it off, which involved painting it, redoing the roof, attaching some finishing bits to it, and also making some adjustments to the steps and to the slide so that they were movable. So here's a little wrap up showing you all the different bits. The slide, I wanted everything to be mowable with the lawnmower around the outside. So the slide connects and it also slides up. Also under the decking we wanted dry space, so we put some slightly sagged polythene in between the joists, which allows the water to run off down towards the front. A little bumper pipe insulation to stop kids or me banging heads. And then this is the step build up, which is basically just two 100mm treated timbers cut with slots on the miter saw for some decking to slot in there. Then they hinge up to allow us to mow underneath. Here are the braces. I overdid the bolts. I mean, this thing isn't going anywhere, but better that way than make something that's going to be wobbling around. And then we are intending to move this in the next few months, so it's sat on some bedded blocks there, and by the time those timbers are on the side it's simply going nowhere. So there, our trusty little bargain buy of a playhouse from last year has now had a new lease of life and a little bit more fun than when it was sat on the patio. So loads of garden videos coming up. We've got fencing, timber framing, shed building, workshop building, all coming up hopefully over the next few months. So stick around, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and check out some of the other videos. But remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.